Yes.
Clap your hands.
Everybody.
Clap.
Yeah, right here, the social media segment of our Nightlife Entrepreneur. We're live and direct. What's up, Julio?
Oh, we're live.
Yeah, we live, baby. What's up, Gary? How are you, man?
Good, man.
Great to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome. Julio Gali. We promised you
Julio
an
Gali.
expert in social media marketing. This guy is the man. So we're going to talk about how the social media aspect of the nightlife has changed. The promotion, the way promoters use it, the nightclubs use it. You know, not only is he an expert on the subject, but he also actually did a little promoting on his own,
Yeah.
from my understanding, right?
That's actually how we met. I mean, we met a few years ago. That's
Right.
how I started when I was really young. I actually promoted while underage, which I don't recommend, but it's the
They don't
truth.
say that, right?
Yeah, whatever. It
That's
was 15 years ago.
Cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it has changed quite a bit.
Was it here in
Since
Miami?
then. Yeah, in Miami.
Okay.
But-
So, Aiko, the first mistake that we make every week
Yeah.
has to do with social media. We start the
no.
podcast and we don't talk about ours.
Do
So first, why don't you?
Hey, why don't
throw
we
in
ask
that?
the experts? Should we do it in the beginning or should we do it in the
I mean,
middle?
yeah, because you don't know. I mean, we want people to stick around all the way to the end. So
Yeah.
I will do it quite a few times, actually.
Exactly.
So,
So that makes
there we
sense. You can follow me at the Nightlife Entrepreneur on Instagram. You can find us at nightlifeentrepreneurs.com, the website. Podcast is there. You can find the podcast on iTunes, on Spotify, on YouTube, on what else?
Netflix,
Automatic.
Automatics, everywhere, man. Just look for us.
Get an
Just search
Atari
Google.
and it's there.
Exactly.
Soon.
Hey, you could also find me at Icotaps Beer, ICOTAPS Beer, like a beer. And you could also find me at Doral Food and Wine Festival.
Oh, cool.
What about you,
Awesome.
my friend?
Well, my personal that I use is Gali Julio, and then my entertainment Instagram is actually FCKG. So that word
Oh, okay.
trendy. So that's the one I use to.
Oh, by the
as
way,
an
you can say
entertainment.
whatever you want to say.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
fucking
you can-
trendy.
Fucking
Oh,
trendy. I
fucking
like
trendy.
it.
There you
I like
go.
it. What's the name of the company? Your company?
Looking
right now?
Pop. This is
Looking Pop.
that's where I do most of my social media services.
All right,
on that.
awesome. How did you start in this business with the social media?
So I was telling them before we started. I come from a musical background. I have a group that I started about 5 years ago, which we got signed to Universal Music. We've been working with them for the last 5 years.
Good job.
So while working with them,
Congratulations.
thank you, man. Thank you. Hard work, but
I
you know,
can
it's
imagine.
worth it.
It's awesome.
While working in the group, I went to school for graphic design and business. So I started doing all the graphics for our group. So that's how I started. Then I got, from the label, they offered me to do the, covers for other artists. So it just grew from there. I started doing assets for Charlie Black. I did some covers for Luis Fonsi. I did Karol G. All the Universal artists, including Latino and Aftercluff, which is like the it's an electronic label they opened when we signed. We actually were the first artists signed to this label. So
As DJs?
as DJs
And
DJs and producers. So we have
we have another interview pending for you.
Yeah,
that'd be
sure.
great, man, and we can bring a tela.
Actually,
that'd be great.
this is your first interview
Outside of the tela
outside
Gali.
of the music,
Yeah,
right?
so
So, hey,
Hey, watch
I'm
out.
very
Broke
excited.
broke ties.
It's great.
Hey, but before we get into that, before the music, you said you were promoting. Were you a promoter?
I mean, that was just like I
Like
did
a
it
little-
for yes, because being in the music, you pretty much have to become your own promoter.
Okay.
So we would book bands and stuff like that. I
Got
had
it.
many bands,
Okay.
and working with Julio for all these years. I got to actually got a little bit of taste of how to promote and do the nightlife thing. So
And then you gravitated more towards the artistry of it and flyers, kind of.
Yeah, because,
I'm sure you started collecting flyers and.
man, I buy records just because of the artwork. I have many records that I don't even listen to just because the artwork is
Wow.
great. Because that's my main,
And
that's
isn't
my
that
passion
crazy?
other
It's
than
a-
music. Designing artworks, that's like my biggest thing.
So that's interesting because I'm assuming that you would collect flyers. I'm assuming that it's kind of sad that people don't buy albums anymore.
Well, actually, It's coming. I mean,
It's coming
it has
back.
coming back.
Is
but,
it coming back? That's
I
awesome.
mean, nowadays there's a lot more things to it. You know, I mean, if you don't buy records, you can also find the easy way to use hashtags. For example, if you're interested in looking for graphic designs or art covers, you can actually see covers that people are doing from around the world. I got to work with a guy, the animator guy from Israel, just because I did a hashtag on animations and just looking through it, and I found his work, and then we collaborated. I sent him an artwork, and then he animated for me. So, I mean, there are other ways to find.
We talked about
great,
collaboration last week a little bit, and see how in every business collaboration is
most definitely, man.
a big thing.
Well, this era is kind of like that, right? Right? Everybody's kind of like collaborating more. Everybody's coming more together.
A little more love.
Do you see that happening?
We are in the fusion area.
The fusion.
That's how they call it. I mean, even in the music, it's a big thing now. When you see, that's why you're seeing a lot of Spanish artists breaking through in the music side, because a lot of fusion is going on. You see the Beyonce and the Balvin,
right?
The stuff, and the same thing with when it comes to social media. The fucking trendy concept is a collaboration. I do 9 posts, which I collaborate with another artist, another illustrator, and then I send them a first rough draft of the designs, and then they collaborate with me, and then we just post it, just for fun. Because
so cool.
People forget that social media is not about promoting, it's not about selling.
Talk to us about that.
It's about entertaining, because you have on Instagram right now 800 million users.
Do you think that's why it's so, people are so, addicted to it?
Well, yeah, I mean, you get a dopamine every time you get a like. So, of course, I mean, I ran a campaign with a Instagram I manage. It's a mobile bakery, and I did like a contest for it on Easter, and it went up to like 300 comments, which is like a huge thing for such a small company, because right now it's not about how many followers you have, but how your community is connecting with you. So
let me ask you a question. Last week we talked about a subject that is the fact that social media has changed a lot of the way that promoters do the work nowadays. But one of the issues is that they don't produce the same way that we used to back in the days. Like how 3 guys would have 1,000 people, and now it takes 30 guys to do so. One of the problems that we see is that this new generation believes that social media is all they need, but they apply, I posted a flyer on Instagram, now my 10,000 followers are going to show up, or at least 10% of them, or whatever. And that's not the reality.
And they're confident about it.
What do you think, how do you think social media, as it relates to a promoter or a nightclub, actually helps?
Man, I mean, one of the plans that we had, because we worked together at the LMG Miami, Miami for the best parties.
Yeah,
right. There you go.
Yep.
So I'm the social media director on that, and then our team, what we are trying to do now, or the next step, is how to entertain people on the social media. So they don't, obviously the main goal will be to go to the parties, but we want to find a way so they can engage and have fun inside of social media, because of the same problem. People are depending 100%
so you're trying
on the
to
phone.
connect.
So we're gonna do like different segments. We'll do the podcast on one day, then we do on Fridays. I'm doing like a new music Fridays because of my musical background. I'll do like, this is the songs that you should be listening to every Friday. Are you ready for? I'll mention a party. I'll do like Bloom Saturdays, and then tomorrow Bloom Saturdays. Here's the playlist for the weekend.
So to any promoter out there that's starting, they have to keep it entertaining. That's the main.
Yeah, because you're not supposed to promote on social media.
Right.
You're supposed to entertain.
Something that's crazy.
And connect more with your viewer, right?
Yeah.
And does that also
Engage.
help you? Does that also help you kind of like, Friday's party versus Saturday's party, or your brunch? Like, what does that do? What does that do for?
It just gets them ready, because if you are entertaining, they'll come back to the Instagram over and over.
To know.
Just to see what's going on.
I mean, when we post a flyer, we see it more as information,
and we take them away.
And we also, they go away. Like what we keep is more, and this is
it's a lifestyle.
This is because he basically runs our social media.
So what we do is like we'll put up a Bloom, or Saturday a blue martini flyer, and then by Friday it's off. It's just when you go.
Strategy is that?
Because
is that a strategy?
Because it's people don't want to read. People want to see, the pictures, how the party looks. So we'll do a bunch of nice looking photos. No, doesn't mean that the people, obviously
make sure
guys
make sure to take good pictures always.
Picture.
Very good
It works
pictures.
like this. Imagine Instagram or Facebook or all these platforms as a robot. I always have this analogy where you find an office like this full of robots on a computer reading the content you put it on. So the first step will be how good the photo is. Oh, it's a good quality photo. Okay, we'll do impressions of it. Impressions, so we'll show it to people. The Instagram first starts with your followers. That's why you see companies nowadays where they have 100,000 followers and they end up having 100 likes, stuff like that.
Because there's robots for real.
Because they decide, no, this is not gonna work for our platform. Remember, you're competing with 800 million people for impressions. So the second step will be how people are engaging. So are you targeting the right people? Is your photo relevant to your followers? So if it is, obviously you get likes, and then Instagram will start impressing and showing your content to a lot more people. So they're your fans, if you like it, and so on.
And let me ask you this, as a promoter. So if there's a promoter out there that's just starting, he just started promoting this week. Should he take it upon himself to start, or she, yes, should they take it upon themselves to start creating this social media platform, or should they hire a professional? What could you say to that person who's
like, for example, also, what we do in Looking Pop is that we have a consulting strategy and we have a managing strategy. So let's say if you are a brand new promoter and you want to get started, if you feel like you can post on a daily basis and you can engage, because it's not about posting. What we do for LMG is like I post, and then every like I'll comment. So, or like I get a like of a person that's in Miami, I'll go and I'll private message them. It's like, hey, what are you doing this weekend? We have a party on Saturday. You want us to put you on the list?
Engagement is probably one of the most important.
Because that's the key.
aspects.
It's not about putting content. It's it's a social media.
I mean, the way I see social media is really more of an engagement thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to go under, you're looking at people's pictures and all that. Okay, that's great. And maybe you want to read a little motivational thing. And I guess we're all used to seeing or posting, pictures of our food. I'm guilty of it, But in the end, you want to engage. You want people to actually either like or comment. As a matter of fact, one of the most common stories or messages I've been reading lately is people posting stuff like, oh, I got 10,000 followers and I only get 100 likes. All these haters, things like that.
Well, because you're not engaging. But you don't have engaging content.
They need to engage.
If I do a food post, I won't do just like, oh, this is my favorite plate.
Now,
I'll do like, what do you think? Does it look good? You like arepas?
Recommend the place. Whatever.
Gali, talk to me about. Right now you just said, that person, that new promoter has to go out there and be very strategic and thoughtful about that picture he's going to post, and then hopefully he's going to create engagement, and then he's going to write back. And, a lot of times people feel that, there's companies out there that are saying, hey, pay me such and such, and, we'll post a picture a day. And someone who doesn't know, they'll think, like, man, this guy's asking for that.
I can do this in the bathroom.
I could do this. And, just to post one picture, he's charging me this. Mm-hmm. How much time does it really take of a day, to create that post or that one?
We are a team we're going up to 10 people.
Oh, wow.
Just because for LMG, I have a dedicated person that's running LMG and 2 other accounts, because we want to make sure that we are engaging, not only posting. Posting, anybody can do.
So it's
you
almost
can pay
like
anybody $100 to post. It's a daily marketing campaign.
Got it.
This is
and it changes every day. For example, I remember when at the beginning it was like you need to post at least 3 pictures a day, and then things change, and it became like just post one, because they have the stories now. We're talking about Instagram in this case. A lot more people.
So on it. Okay. More traffic.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, Instagram is getting all this content. Back in the day, it was just a little content. They wanted more content, so they did. They will do like more impressions of your content, so you get more likes, so you're drawn to do more pictures.
Right. And go to the beginning of Instagram when you started it, and go look. And for some reason, people were taking pictures of like their feet or pictures of the plane, the wing of the plane.
So now they're being
so weird.
They're just.
Well, it's very big. This robot that I'm talking about is like extremely picky, because you have photographers that are taking amazing.
When you mention robots, are you talking about algorithms?
Yes.
Is that what you're talking about?
That's an easy way to understand that.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. There's a few people who talk about social media, and they say just forget about algorithms. Don't think about them. Think about your content. Concentrate on your content. Make sure you're posting the right content, and you will get your likes and your follows and your comments, etc.
And your engagement.
Is that correct, or you still got to think about the algorithm?
If you're doing a good job posting your content and you're engaging with your community, then you have to think about it a little bit less. But you still have to, because you do want to, as a promoter, reach, the use of hashtags. People forgot about that, or they're using it in the wrong way.
So is the old school way more effective than the new school?
In terms of social media, or like the old school, like the promoting of the cold calling?
In regards to the bottom line, what brings more traffic to the party?
Entertaining stuff. If you're entertaining, if you're a promoter and you're showing a lifestyle of a promoter, or not just promoting.
I got to answer your question.
Yeah.
Seeing it from somebody who has to use the social media and has to use the old school call and everything.
Think about last week's interview. This guy would engage in person with someone, and they would call that person. Hey, how are you? I want you to come to that party. Hey, well, you know what? I'm studying for a test. Okay, no problem. Or they would see that they'd
keep a log of that phone call and call them back, say how'd you do,
hey, how
all
did
that
you
kind
do
of
on
thing.
the
Make it
test?
personal.
That's kind of like the old school way, right?
But
is that more effective?
But that's what we do that's what you should be doing on your social media.
Exactly. Okay. So that's why I think nobody has the time to run their own social media if you're serious about this business.
Exactly.
If you're serious to grow, of course, when you start, you need to do on your own as much as you can, and grow there. But there's gonna be a point that if you want to grow, you got to start hiring the experts, right? I don't know as much as this guy about
it's a time management thing. Like I said, like you said, if you're starting out, you're a promoter, and you have the time to do a daily marketing campaign, not only post, but make sure that if somebody likes, hey, what's up? I have this party.
Exactly.
I ran one of the most fun campaigns.
Hey, that's one of the keys, all right? Yes. Create engagement.
Sorry. Engagement is key.
Key element.
I did a story campaign on LMG where I say, do you like to party on Fridays? It was Thursday and Saturday. Right. So you like to party on Thursdays or Saturday? On a poll, and then whoever's answered on Saturday, I will go text them on a private message and say, listen, on Saturday we got this going on.
Make sure whatever
people would. I'm surprised they didn't say I like partying
Monday
to
Friday.
Monday to Friday.
I did that too. I did on a Monday. I do like, would you guys like a Monday brunch? Because I don't know if that could generate business.
Hey, there was a time where Tuesdays.
We've been thinking about that for a while, as a matter of fact, and I think it's gonna change a lot of things.
Tuesday nights, there was a time where Tuesday nights were like dangerous.
There's places that have the off nights, and usually those off nights are the longest lasting. For a long time, Tantra on Mondays, for example.
Tantra on Mondays,
oh my God.
It was crazy.
That was crazy.
With Irina and man, those.
Because a lot of people work on the weekends. So.
A little grass floor was magical, right?
Right.
That was fun.
And now you see nowadays things like that are generated by communities. So, for example, on a Monday night party, you have that you have a community that people usually are the people that work during the weekend, bartenders. Promoters, so they don't actually go out on the weekend.
Monday night is usually called industry.
Where do you see this social media game going? As far as do you think that someone right now is already figuring out or thinking of the next Instagram? It's funny, when Instagram came out, I didn't expect it to be as big as it is now. Where do you see it going? Not only as far as,
let's say, from the ones that already exist, which one is the most important platform?
I still think Facebook is amazing.
Still
Facebook?
Yeah, I mean, just because it's like the big daddy of it, They do a lot of, they manage all the Instagram and the tools they give you as an advertiser. I'm talking in the size of a promoter
as
and
a
an
promoter.
advertiser.
So,
Not as a user, because people might say musically is great,
Right.
but how would you use that as to promote or
now check this out. That's very interesting that you said Facebook. So because that young promoter, it might look at Facebook like nobody's on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So do you advise that promoter who just started last week, hey, tip number one, in social media, try to create engagement. It's not just about posting your flyer and moving on. You have to focus. You have to, try to create engagement with your public, and also try to create engagement in Facebook. And don't think that Facebook is just not kind of like in style anymore or anything like that.
Yeah, but
definitely.
it's so fast that you have to be everywhere. And the key as a promoter or as an entrepreneur, if you're running a business,
Nightlife Entrepreneur.
Is ads. You want to do
Right.
really good, cheap ads. So if you're not engaging on Facebook, or you're not engaging in the platform where you are doing the ads, and you're running like the boosted post, which is like pretty much giving your money away.
Which is what most people think that
Yes,
that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, so those are worthless.
I mean, it's
You
just,
need to make it work organically first,
Yes.
and then you.
And then you go to Facebook. They have a business platform that you can sign up as a business, and then you can run your ads through Facebook, and they'll go on Instagram. They'll go on Instagram with stories. They'll go on Facebook. They go on Instagram posts, both through Facebook. So the important thing why I say Facebook is still as big as it is because the more engagement you have on these platforms run by Facebook, the cheaper the ads, because they don't do like the double dipping. If your ad, your content is already having a lot of engagement.
That's something a lot of
when
people
you run
don't
an
know.
ad, yes,
They don't have a
kinda
specific
cool.
price. It's not like you say,
No.
I'm going to post an ad, it costs this much.
no.
Yeah.
The way it works, it's really according to how much
Engagement you
you
so
get.
they kind of show you love for
Well,
creating
no, I mean, because
traffic for
it will
them.
be like, because if
Are
you're
people
doing
sharing this? Are people commenting on it?
Exactly.
Are
Got
people
it.
viewing it? Does nobody care? That's going to be
So
more
if nobody
expensive.
cares, they call you up.
Right
and
now,
they say,
I run this.
$100 for you."
Right.
That just sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm running a campaign for this company. They do like tours of bands. I'm doing like Caramelo de Cianuro, a bunch of, and they're like all around, like
Nice.
Ecuador. I'm doing
Everywhere.
all Europe. So the different targets, right?
Cool.
So I'll run an ad on Tenerife, for example. It's one of my cheapest ad that I run ever. I'm doing 0.02 cents, like not even a cent.
Oh wow.
So with $150, I'm doing like 7,000 clicks
That's per click.
per click. That's less than a cent per click. So let's say we do like, I think we did like 9,000, 8,000 clicks. If you're selling tickets, if you do 3% of
great.
that,
Yeah.
it's a really good turnout. So why is that? Because I've been running ads with that account, and then every person that comments or clicks to that ad, I invite them to like the page, and then after they like the page, I send them a message. Hey, listen, what's your favorite band? Or like,
And it is you.
it's
not
me.
a
I mean,
robot.
a content.
it's
Like literally, I have a person dedicated for that.
that
That's
says,
the only
hey,
way.
how are you?
Yeah, because it's personal. It's a personal thing. It's a social media platform, so you have to be social. What that does is that Facebook is like, man, these guys are like the content is engaging, so I can charge $1 per click. I have to charge this because it is already engaging. So that's the important key about.
Do people have to spend money on ads and boosts in order to get engagement, or
I don't do boost. That to me is a waste of money. I mean, in my opinion, I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure that there's 1,000 people that have different knowledge that in my experience, it seems like a waste of money every time that I put a boost, because it's like an automatic thing. It's like saying, hey, here's your money and do whatever you want with it.
You also mentioned before we started that an ad on a bus, an ad here, it's a waste of money. Like nowadays, talk to me about the fact that everyone's always looking at their phone.
Like I did this, like you're walking and you just like this, and when they talk to you, it's like, oh yeah, and then your attention is always here.
So how much time is too much time to be on social media? Like how do you,
As a user,
as a user, like what do you think the world?
I spend
Yeah.
24 hours, I think, on my social media.
On your social media, on your phone?
On my phone.
And,
like,
and
this is like the 5th time I charge it, and it's like 4%. Because
and you're a dad.
yes.
So is your son you said is 7?
No, they don't have.
They don't have
nothing.
You don't
Not
want
even,
them.
No, I mean,
you want them focused on the arepas, on the, on the
yeah.
life, family, right?
Yeah.
So how much time would you say is too much time for social
Well,
media?
I just read that it's 800 million on Instagram, and people are spending over between 2 to 4 hours a day, average, which is a lot of time. If you do it like a monthly thing, it could be like a part-time job.
Wow.
So if you're not doing it every day as a business owner or as a nightlife entrepreneur or as a promoter, then you're missing out on that, because it only takes a swipe. That you only have. It's not like the bus that you leave your house and then you see the bus stop and the ad is over. Then the insurance guy, whatever, is always there. No, the Instagram is not like that. Instagram is just, you're done. Your money's gone. If you're paying for the ad, that's it. So
Wow.
you have to be on a daily basis. That's why when I run an ad for MG, I don't run just one ad. I can run one budget, but I run up to 7 or 8 ads on different
They got a great
demographics.
budget.
We're big, man.
These guys got a great budget. That's
But
good.
they do a great job.
Kenya
No,
pays
that's
for it.
interesting. And do people see that ad? And then I guess the fact that, yes, like you just mentioned, a bus stop. Once you see the ad there, and if you go to that corner again, you're gonna you know it's there. So you're not, whatever information you needed, you already have it. You saw it. Boom, with an ad, with the cell phone, social media is kind of like you're always looking for that next.
So I'm gonna tell you what is the same thing as that about in social media. It's called remarketing. So this is the way it will work. I will do like a promo video of one of the parties, and then I'll go on Facebook, because you can't do this on Instagram. That's why I say like Facebook. Is it's a great platform as a business. They have this you have an audience tab where you can go and then you create a remarketing audience, which is like, okay, the people that saw this video, and then it will give you specifics like for less than 3 seconds, for 5 seconds, for
It gives you that information.
who saw it and share it, who saw it and liked it, who saw it and swiped away. I'm gonna show them this ad now.
Oh.
So it's a funnel of advertising.
And you guys study that. You guys see
Oh,
it.
yeah.
And, hey, let's go after all these people that
Just didn't buy. They clicked them, didn't buy.
that didn't. Okay.
And
then also the ones that stayed there for 10 seconds because they
they're
must have been interested in stuff, or they're thinking about
So
going.
people like that, if they stayed 10 seconds and they didn't buy or didn't take an action, I'll do like an offer.
Basically, I mean, back in the day, we used to think, oh my God, how does Coca-Cola know I love Coca-Cola? And they always find me and get to me, that kind of thing. Same way as you say, like, how do I get all this porn on my computer? That kind of thing.
I don't think no.
It used to be that the big companies were the only ones that could do that
He's
kind of
always
thing.
spamming me.
Nowadays, everybody has access to
Yeah.
to that ability to be able to do that,
It's unbelievable.
and to those click funnels, and for you guys that don't know what those funnels are, it's basically like if you see an ad about something that you're interested in, and you click on it, but you don't do anything about it, or you do. If you do, there's something that's gonna happen. Like you might get an email, or you'll get like put your name and your email here in exchange for this. In my case, you get a free book.
There you go.
And but then after that, you join the newsletter. In the newsletter, you're gonna get a lot of more information. In the end, you're gonna get the podcast, and then after a while, you're gonna get access to the courses. That's a funnel in a way.
And this is something that has been going on for years. This is
years,
basic marketing.
Yeah, because
but it's just now that is the different tools. The marketing strategies hasn't changed a lot.
Yeah.
It's just there are different tools.
Nowadays, like if you're texting someone and you just write the word accident, then automatically you start getting in Facebook. All these. Like,
we've been trying to figure out how to
insurance.
use those to get more people into the clubs, because like some of the things are more designed for like the online businesses and the online schools and all those kinds of things, but the actual pulling people to a bar. That's why I always say the old school way is never going to be taken. It's always going to be the old school way.
Strong.
And that's why it's so difficult to convince the new generation on how to do it, because they're used to being on the phone and like that's their main.
I mean, we're gonna try a bunch of things. We've done like offers and stuff like that, because you have to be, one of the things that you have to understand about social media, and I'm still understanding that and learning that, is that even though that is a daily thing, you have to be patient, man. It's gonna take time to figure out what works for your customers to actually take action and go.
Hey, you know what's cool? Like, so you came from like you kind of stated in the beginning that you're like a promoter, and then you like art. So then you started, album collector, flyer collector, and you seem excited about what you're doing now. And a lot of people don't know, but you filled arenas. You're also a producer. So all in this, do you connect it? Is it all art to you? Like,
yes,
I see you and I feel like you're excited about this. I feel like you're excited about where this is going. Is it giving you that same feeling or high that you get when you're producing, when you're
I can compare it to, I was just talking to my wife about that, because I ran that campaign, and I really got a high looking at how much engagement there is. So it's like a closest thing to like playing at Ultra, Peru or something like that.
So did you hear that? Playing at Ultra in Peru, like this guy is like really the big deal, and was like filling up arenas with 10,000 people, and here you are now taking another venture. The reason why I went there with this is because young promoters that they're kind of looking to what to do, and Julio's over here inspiring them and showing them step by step, hey, if you're going to come into this world that he's done such a great job, we're going to teach you how to go from a promoter to owning a club. The promoter might just be the first steps, but then you might end up being a producer.
And one of the things that they should know, everybody should know about Julio, is like Julio's not a single, Julio has a big team behind him.
No, we know he's not single. No.
No,
7
I'm
kids
serious.
between the two of us,
it
man.
does take a community. It does take a team. You guys.
Starting with my partner, Quilla, who we'll have here at some point when he decides to
another
not
shout
be
out
afraid
to
of the
Quilla,
camera.
man. That's
Miami legend
that's a
right there.
boy. Yeah, we gotta interview him.
Yeah.
So that's basically, do feel excited, because it's not the future. It's the now.
Awesome,
this
man.
is
Question.
right now.
If you had to give one piece of advice to an upcoming, not just a promoter, think of a promoter, anybody who's getting into the nightlife industry, could be somebody who wants to open a bar, regarding social media, what would that piece of advice be?
Find your niche. Right now, it's not about the numbers. It's not about the 100,000, because you're not gonna fill a club with 100,000 people. You know what I mean? Find a niche. Build a community. What a community means for social media, people that engage on your social media, because then you have a better result on social media. And obviously building a community means that there are people that eventually become customers, so which is the actual real goal. It's not about likes, it's about sales,
Right.
I think
That's great.
So find your niche, guys. Definitely.
That's good advice. That's good advice. So kind of like create your own little village, right?
Man, I mean, you don't need 10,000 people to rule the world.
Exactly. No. It's true, man. So that I think that's a very good advice.
I mean, unless I wanna say that, because I do have some friends that do like the influencer type of thing, which is a whole different world. That's it's a new business model when it comes to being an entertainer or a comedian,
right.
and people actually criticize them, and I think it's actually the whole way around, man. They're doing a great job, because they're can reach thousands of people. But if you're a business owner or like a club owner or a promoter in a city or something that is local, make sure that you're targeting a niche instead of like people in Peru or Colombia or whatever.
Agreed.
Awesome.
At the end of every episode,
Yes.
we do a small segment called the Night Father. Due to the fact that we are parents of many kids.
Wow.
And you are a father too. As a
Yes.
matter of fact, you almost missed this
Yes,
podcast today
almost.
because
I
you
have
had
to take Jude
your kids to the doctor.
You okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
You have one kid?
I have two.
All right.
Awesome.
How old are they?
Jude is 7 and Lucy is 4.
Okay. Normally we talk about how being in the nightlife and the parents, how that works. in this case, we wanted to ask you is things more related to social media.
Yeah.
And one question I had was, do you think that there should be age limits on some of these things?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm really, it's a big concern to me, the whole access to it. It's not that the content that they're putting out there, but the whole access to it. I know that YouTube does very good, and they do a kid platform for them and stuff.
Yes, my son hates it.
Yeah, obviously.
He wants to be on the other one.
Because they want to see the videos and the whatever, you know?
Right.
Like my son is 7 and he doesn't have an iPad or a phone or he only has access to a computer, which is iMonitor. Like I'll time it like and only for homework. But the thing is that I'm very lucky because he's very good at school and he's in the gifted program. So
Awesome.
He's doing like coding and stuff like that. So it's a different scenario. But when I see like nephews and stuff like that, or kids even at restaurants eating with the iPad and stuff like that, that to me is like,
yeah, like this generation is missing out a lot, like and playing just straight up.
yeah, I mean, but that
being
could be the playing for them, because nowadays is also cities are
totally
growing,
different.
things are different. But it's just, I think that if you're allowing your kids to be on social media or to have access to the content, make sure that it's not unsupervised. That would be ridiculous to do.
That's a good tip. Just make sure to supervise what it is that they're doing.
Supervise
watching.
the content.
Don't just give them the phone and say, go do whatever you want.
When are you gonna allow your kids to start?
When they feel they need to,
how are you gonna feel when you get that post from your child?
I don't know, man.
They're learning from the best.
I opened an Instagram for Jude long time ago when just for the family. It's a private thing, and then but then I stopped doing it because I started working on it. So I actually don't, even on my personal, it's hard, man, because it's, like I said, it takes time. That's why
no time.
I will hire myself to do it. Serious. Because it takes time.
If this generation is spending 2 to 4 hours a day on Instagram,
that's crazy.
Imagine theirs, like where it's going. I mean, it's a little scary in that sense.
It is.
But it is where it's going. So in the end, it's like sometimes when you hear, we gotta go outside, take the kids outside, go play soccer, go play this or that. But if they're really not, all the people are not really into those things that we used to do.
Yeah, man. I mean, you can't force I can't force my kids to like soccer.
Right.
For example, one of the things that I had the opportunity to tell Jude, my son, is like, oh, you like coding? You're doing coding? You're learning how to speak to computers.
Exactly.
When I told him that, he's like,
wow.
You can tell the computer to do whatever you want to do. It's like he's learning piano, so he's learning. I told him like music is a language, but coding is another language. So
and that piano,
that is the real future.
Yeah,
the language of the future is definitely coding.
For me, it's like that's the language of
the now.
Everything, man. Like, you can do anything with learning how to code and stuff. That's a tip that I can give somebody that has kids. If they have an iPad or whatever, try to find things are learning to, but learning in a way that is an investment to the future. Like learn how to code or learn how to. They have so many games that teach you how to code while playing.
That's very good.
Outstanding.
Awesome.
They do a good job on that.
Cool.
Gali, thank you so much for being here today, man.
Thank you. Pleasure.
A lot of good advice.
It's a pleasure having you on the Nightlife Entrepreneur podcast.
Remember, guys, you can find us at www.nightlifeentrepreneurs.com. You can find us at Nightlife Entrepreneurs on YouTube, on iTunes, on
Spotify, YouTube.
Your what's your Instagram?
My Instagram is at @IcoTapsBeer and at Doral Food and Wine Festival. I'll see you all there.
Mine is the Nightlife Entrepreneur, and
if you can find us at lookingpop.com, which is where I do
at Looking
all my
Pop.
services. If you want to be entertained or even collab with me, if you are an illustrator or a graphic designer, look me up. Fucking trendy.
And guys, remember, man, you like this, comment below,
like it,
share it. Come on,
show the
share
love.
it. We'll see you next week.
We love you. Peace.